What is going on, people? Welcome back. Johnny here, and we're going to carry on with the Dwarfs momentarily. Make some fantastic progress today. Although the gold count isn't going to go up too much. In earnest, we're going to begin on that mission soon. RimWorld to me is a whole lot of fun building stuff. I'm glad you could share that with me. We're also going to run into some material shortages and start working towards Dwarven royalty. And whatever. Either way, it's beginning. We're trying to sort out finishing the barn. We have 38 gold, which is pretty decent. But imagine the wealth when we get anywhere even remotely close to 100,000. It's going to be bananas. I'm going to leave the Skaven carcasses down here. There's no reason that we're picking these things up. It's just meaningless. And we're also going to focus on getting this storage area cleaned up very nicely this episode and get a proper repair room put in right next to it where we will store all the clothes. There's going to be a blacksmith room as well, which we're going to start working on right away. But the repair room will house all the tainted apparel that we're going to repair. This room, I think, will turn into a magic workshop. Yeah, let's do that. There you go. I love this many pawns that are highly industrious. It's not like the Beastmen game at all. That game's very frustrating. This one, not so much, despite all the BS that happens. We'll put in a few shelves to hold some key components for magical items. We don't really need too many. It's kind of a waste of space at this size, but that's fine. I do have a fire raging thanks to a dry thunderstorm. It seems to be a never-ending problem here. But there you go. Let's save the medicine at least. So, Belt of Ardor, if we can make like 5 of those, then we could just leave like 3 or 4 pawns here that are wearing those and take everybody else on Caravan. It would be pretty phenomenal. Just checking out what we need to build stuff here. We need Jabba's Life Tongues, Troll Hearts, I don't know. Rings of Tending would be phenomenal as well. Then we don't have to tend any of our injured people. And the better quality the item ends up, the better quality the tending is. So that would be pretty legit. In terms of research, we're working, or we just finished advanced magic items. We could make magic arms, eyes, and legs for some of our humans. Would be worthwhile. I think we'll go medicine next because that opens up some magic items, but the humans cannot receive the mechanical upgrades that the dwarfs can. But working on the repair room, and again, it's just a never-ending fire situation. The deceased Skaven are still laying there. Critters continue to thwart our trap situation. It's either close it or leave it open. Right now, I'm going to take the risk. We have 1,600 iron, although I guess 1 manhunter pack and the whole goddamn thing's gone, and that's pretty much the rest of our material too to rebuild. But we can start building out of something else. I'm going to get all the iron we can selected. Yeah, so we have a decent amount. So we have a little trader here who doesn't have a lot, but he will buy a bunch of these miserable bows off us. So let's just push those out the door. We have way too much shit sitting around. The shelf space alone. So when we do start putting together caravans, it's going to be pretty phenomenal. We can't grow Devil Strand until we get through the regrowth research. So we have to do that. We need Devil Strand for making magic items. And it looks like our trading partners were just killed, actually, by saber tusks. They did drop a golden royal bed. So perhaps we do have a decent way to increase the gold around here before this episode's over. It's a freaking masterwork, too. It seems crappy to deconstruct it, but it's also worth like 12,660 gold. So I don't believe we'll be deconstructing that. I mean, keeping that. We need to keep the wealth down because okay, so we got 525 for that. As we continue to acquire gold, the wealth around here is just going to be bananas. So all right, tainted apparel's going in there. Regrowth is finished. We can actually we could grow berry bushes for whatever it's worth. Let's work towards Devil Strand. We'll get a big patch of that going so we can make some of the magic items that require it. And we have a Manhunter pack. Well, that didn't take long. Ask and you shall receive. Let's see if we can't get over there and close the door. I don't imagine we're going to make it, right? We never have it. I should put like a couple bedrooms on the far end over there so there's just somebody sleeping there that can close the door. Yeah, so we have these stupid pigs. Some kind of pig. They're going to give us pig meat and pig skin. And they're going to destroy all of our traps as well. They're not coming in. I'm going to try and lure them in. At the very least, we'll get some meat material out of this. Bone. I don't have the bone mod active in this one. I'm going to leave the people with the flamethrowers over there. And we're going to stand outside of their radius with the rest of everybody so we don't get ourselves schmucked. There's no reason. Actually, there's a lot of pigs coming in. So let's hide inside. And I like how the bears just hang out with Stoneheart. It's pretty awesome. That's one of my favorite things about how this is played out. This is going to be fish in a barrel. Embracers totally break the whole man-eater. Okay, so we did just start ourselves on fire. These guys need to be kept somewhere else. That's pretty frustrating, but there you go. Anyway, our door is on fire. The door is forbidden, so maybe that's why they're not going to... Can we just put this fire out on Rugnason, please? I don't know. I guess they'll get it eventually. Regardless, the door does stay on fire until I unforbid it. So they'll just let the whole damn thing burn despite the excessive cost of that material. And it looks like all the traps were indeed destroyed. So 27 traps times 45 iron. That's pretty shitty. We're going to run out of iron in no time here. I need a better way to deal with that. It'd be nice. I think for the next massive update here, we're going to do Dwarven runic stuff. Here's our wealth. 429,000, almost 430. We're going to do some Dwarven doors that are magic rune based, so you can remotely close them and remotely open them as you're so inclined, and that'll solve that problem. Just have to find a way to make it more expensive. I did consider rescuing this southern bear. There's a few bear types that we don't have both sexes of. Whatever, though. We're also just completely swamped by bears at this point. There's more of those great stags, a female version hanging out there. Those guys show up. I didn't realize these new animals would be so prolific, but there you go. Turns out they periodically shoot the wall when they're practicing shooting against their new targets, but that's okay. They do enjoy it, and it gets their skill up. Where to go from there? I don't know. I don't want to do a repair. We've already done a repair. We were working on medicine. That's right. I got distracted by Devil Strand. So let's get back to Empire Medicine. There you go, Devil Strand. I don't know if we have a long enough growing season here. It's actually the end of spring, so we may or may not see a harvest before it's over. But I'm going to make a vault to keep gold and valuables. There is a wizard staff there, and that must belong to Peterson, indeed. So let's get her to re-equip that, as it does reduce the likeliness of miscasts significantly. So we need a couple doors. There is a wild man here. He's a brawler. He crafts. We could certainly use a crafter. Doesn't have any negative traits. So I think we'll try and tame that dude. See if we get lucky on that. I'm sure we'll get himself blown up somehow. We do have extra beds right now, so no worry. We do find some compacted steel. I'm going to put in a few more bedrooms as well. I don't want to have somebody come on board and not be ready for that. So actually it was iron, not steel, so that's perfect because that's just what we needed to keep the traps being built. And you can see the new forge turned out nice. That's plenty of space. We could even build a new forge in there if I decide we need that. I'm going to do a bunch of smoothing around here. It's quite a big project, but whatever. We find some open space back behind the wall. Since this is our gold vault and other valuables vault, I'm going to take the extra terrible effort and fill in every single tile with limestone wall. I don't want any risk of any problems or skyfallers, given that it's an open spot, so we'll just fix it up nice. The things we can build, healing potions would be nice, magic weapons. Belt of Ardor is what I'm most interested in. It makes them 10 times as useful in terms of the shit they get done. We do find some granite walls. We're mining out a bedroom. That's a little bit interesting. There might be more of that back there, but anyways, we have to expand our cleaning zone. A Gabbro meteorite fall, so we'll deal with that as well for whatever it's worth, just to get it out of the way. And I like the variety on the different types of stones. There is an injured troll. There's actually 2 of them there. We should See if we can't slaughter them for the meat and the troll hearts, which are very valuable. Also, if you have a sick pawn that wouldn't otherwise survive, you just have them eat a troll heart. They might get food poisoning. So this is a love potion. Takes a lot of gold to build a lot of this magic stuff, and that's contrary to what our main mission is here. So I'm a little unsure about committing to that. So I think when we bring in a large amount of gold, then we'll open the door for one magic item to be created. We can create more stag mounts now that we've killed some stags and have some great stag horns. There you go. So they made a good one there. We have one more horn, and that'll be interesting. We could build one more. And again, the exploding animals never leave us alone in terms of our traps. 3363 gold. I believe there's 500 more laying over on the floor in the chill out, hang out, fun room. So 3863, you can see, is our current total count. It's pretty decent. It's a far cry from 100,000, but we'll do our best. I don't really like, if we can get security solid here. We have a lot of crabby people, but if we can, there's a quest for some weapons. I'm not going to bother though. That's 2 days away, and there's no gold. If it was a gold mission, we'd be all over it. But now we're, I cut myself off in mid-flow all the time here. So regardless, there is a wounded bear, and it's a female. But again, I have so many bears at this point. I don't know that we're gonna stick with it. Southern bear down here, injured but not incapacitated, so I guess we'll just leave it alone. And the food storage area is doing great. It hasn't filled up yet, and there's nothing laying on the floor, so that's nice. And we're bringing in the harvest, the first harvest of the year anyway. We have several more bears. They have a litter of 1 or 2, I believe. We're gonna have to make a bear cave somewhere. This spot A is inside and B is running out of space. I think we'll make a bear cave. Down here seems like a good location for that, so let's just get that going. And yeah, we just have to make sure they have access to it. There's a magical delivery, which means something showed up. Kibble, very nice. We should probably just stow that in the barn for whatever it's worth. I don't think it rots. We did get a smooth decorative quartzite meteorite that killed one of our horses. I'm not sure why that's something that shows up in a meteorite, but we do find a little bit of open space. We found some sulfur as well down here, but I'm working on making a room for our first Thane, and then we'll make a throne room just off to the side of that. We do find another copper seam, and animals continue to explode on our traps as well as burn them up, which is fantastic. I still have plenty of iron though, so I'm not terribly worried about it. Again, we have lots of other, like tin. I don't know how worthwhile tin's going to be for a trap, but at least we're using up material we wouldn't otherwise use for a very good purpose. I need to run some piping through this new area if we're going to be able to keep it warm, and there's no great way to do that. This bear looks like he's moving sideways. I have to double check my images and make sure I have a north view of the southern bear. It doesn't appear as if I do, just based on how it's moving. So that stupid quartzite filled up our area, so we're just gonna use it as we can. That's a definite defect. I don't know why that came as a meteor. We do have 11 people that come down with gutworms at that point as well. Disease continues to plague us. And there's a social fight between a dwarf and an ogre. Needless to say, the naked dwarf versus the ogre that's very well armored. The dwarf does not fare very well in that one, but whenever I make the ogre pick him up, everybody will get tended. I don't believe there's nobody. You gotta lay down. Just stay in bed for now. So we're also gonna not just smooth these walls, but etch them with dwarven artwork. That'll increase the beauty of the room, and they're pretty picky about that. Another Manhunter pack shows up. So 45 Zizes. We got to get that door closed or we're going to lose all the fucking traps. But as you can see, once again, we're doomed. So that's all those traps. just shit wasted again. All that material. That's so fucking frustrating. And then this gray bear number 3 wants to hang out outside. And I guess it is what it is. Gray bear 3. Have at it. They're bashing my door. By the time we get down to the last few, I'm just going to try and lure them in so we can shoot them up. And pretty sure we're not going to have enough material to rebuild all those doors. I'm going to do some magic on these guys just to keep the magic flowing. Final transmutation only works on human-like pawns, so there's no point trying to turn them to gold. There's a rot bomb, but nobody was standing over there. There's our flamethrowers going off. And in terms of defense, we got it nailed, right? If we just had like 4 people with flamethrowers, the downside is if we get people that skyfall and end up inside of our area, we're going to burn all of our crops out, which any time other than winter is going to be a problem. I try to cure gutworms with the Nurgle's boon, but it does not work. So, not sure there. But we end up getting a lot of those dragony things we can butcher, so that's good. Gotrik's father shows up, and his name is Bowden. So that's pretty interesting. Our first dwarf. He's a Laura Beast wizard, which is pretty cool as well. I debate on capturing him, but I don't want to piss off the dwarven faction since they're good buddies. We're going to need them when we start trading like crazy. There he is. Look at that. That's pretty cool. His son is Gotrik Deepmine, and he's a Lore of Beasts wizard. That's awesome. I would really like a Lore of Beast wizard too, but there's Gotrik. He comes out just to say hi, but they don't really interact at all. I make them run around him a bit, and they never even like wave at each other, so I didn't know if anything would happen. Pretty sure those quests are just dumb. Or those events, they're just meaningless. You can capture them if you want, but we bring the Hydra down with magic, bring it in for slaughter. Milk falls out of the sky. That's good. We can make some extra cheese with that. And more stuff to mine because they hit some overhead mountain that dropped on us. The bear cave is done, as you can see. And the Great Bear 6 never got messed with, so that's good. Those dragons clearly just ignored it. And we're making progress. I do some mining just to get these stupid quartzite walls out of my building area. We're out of material, iron, I should say, for making additional traps. So we have to go find some iron ore veins. It's going to be, we have a lot of mining to do yet anyways. I can just start wide opening space up and seeing what we find. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. We haven't got into blasting yet either, so we can remove overhead mountain. We're going to start researching high bloods too, because we have a throne room and a Thane's bedroom ready to go almost, but we don't have the capacity to even make the throne. Also working on being able to keep that room warm, so we're running some steam pipe over there. The storage looks great, as you can see. Value of this map, 473,000 and some change. But anyways, we got the storage cleaned up nicely, so that's phenomenal. Decided to put bedrolls in there. And 132 is the current quality of the Thane's bedroom. I put a little area to greet guests and have private conversations in there. 133, once we start smoothing walls, is where it ends up. We need to find iron, so we're going to do a bunch of mining around the map edge, the upper left side. And we, of course, immediately find copper. No reason not to switch to copper. I've been doing a lot of furniture out of copper. As you can see, they're making good progress on decorating those walls. They can't do the, if there's a corner, a corner that's inverted, they can't do a corner that's in the back. And they need to be able to get next to it to decorate it. So we're running a little short on dwarven fermenting barrels for standard dwarven ale. So we should probably work on that a bit. There's a bunch of different types of stone, 4 different types of stone that come together in this corner, which excites every dwarf in the colony, I would say. And it excited me as well. Yeah, so there you go. There's what those walls look like when they're well decorated. I spent quite a while making that look somewhat cool anyway. So there you go. And lots of unique stuff put in there. And the camera plus, or there's a camera plus that lets you zoom, I believe. We have these war horses. I'm going to tame the war horses and get rid of the regular RimWorld horses. So we'll slaughter So we tame a mare and a warhorse from the Empire mod. They're faster and they're just better animals. Let's get rid of all the basic horses then. That'll be a fine plan. And then we'll have to wait. There's some iron ore that we find over there. That's fantastic. Now we can easily find all the rest of it on the map. So there is more. There's some on the right side at the top. There you go. I knew this was here before. When I glance at it, I always just say, oh, that's steel. But it's clearly not steel. So there you go. We'll bring all that in. That'll let us continue to build the traps out of iron for a while. We're working on the throne room, and you can see we're making good progress on that. It won't be long. Once the research is done, we can actually build the throne. And they're working towards that goal. So, Peterson. I do have 4 magic points with her. Why not use them up? I need to get healing light. Whatever. There you go. There's all the points we have. So we get a cold snap, and at that point, that's always your cue to go around and try and harvest what you can. Needless to say, the Devil Strand never grew to fruition, so we won't be making any awesome magic items with that this year unless we can find somewhere to acquire some. Anyways, we're pushing the end for the day. Next time we'll get a throne built. We'll declare a Thane. And otherwise, everything's pretty chill. We've definitely filled up on animal fat, but we can start using that in some of the meals. We still have some horses to slaughter, but looks like our new Empire Warhorse mare is already pregnant. So please leave me a comment. If you want to make it into the episode, leave me a like. I do read all the comments, and I do respond. The predators definitely keep us well equipped in meat and textiles. So that is going to be it for today, though. I again appreciate you being here, and we've made some massive progress. At some point, I want to fart around with the dwarven royalty a bit, but it won't be long before we're sending caravans. So I'll see you next time.